Senior Swayamsevak Dr. Mahesh J. Mehta passed away in a hospital in Ahmedabad, Gujarat on 14th December 2021 due to old age complications. Dr. Mehta had settled in the USA as a scientist. For the inspiration of Param Pujya Guruji M.S. Golwalkar, the then Saram Sangchalak, he came as the leading founder of Vhpa Hindu Parishad of America on October 19, 1970. He served Vhpa in capacities as General Secretary and President. His life was dedicated to laying the foundation of Hindu movement, Hindu identity in USA, and also in positioning the Hindu as a leading contributor in the growth and development of the adopted country. He also served as a Central Vice President and a member of the Board of Trustees and Governing Council of Vhpa Hindu Parishad. He was instrumental in establishing Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, Overseas Friends of BJP, Indians for Democracy, Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, Hindu Mandir Executives Conference, India Quality Group, and Global Indians for Bharat Vikas, among many others. Mahesh Bhai was also a close confidant of Bharat's Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, for many years. The President of Bharat awarded him Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award in 2017 for the community services.
Mahesh ji was a great soul. He was a great leader, and we considered him as a family member. And he had created a network of people around him who are serving the interests of India and humanity. We were all together in that. So his going away will be a great loss.
It is a personal loss for me, as he was a mentor, guide, and a fatherly figure. His work has impacted the world in so many ways. In the past 5 decades, he had established so many Hindu and Indian organizations. You can literally say that he is the father of the Hindu movement in North America.
He had been one of the most influential person intellectually, emotionally, spiritually in my life. And just hundreds of very fond memories travels through my mind. Maybe on some other occasion I can share, but he was an amazing person who always provided some very new insight and perspective on very complex issues. And we worked together on many projects, traveled together to at least 10 cities in India in 2004 to contact a range of think tanks working on Hindu issues.
Led by Seva Sadhana, he asked all to keep spirituality as a base in whatever we did. His goal was Hindu unity, and to emphasize that, Maheshbhai traveled for many years incessantly at his own expense across USA and to other countries. Maheshbhai was a true karma yogi who believed in yoga karma su kaushalam, that is, excellence in action is yoga. My prayers for the Urdhogati, upward journey of Maheshbhai Atma. Om Shanti.
He was an excellent organizer and a formidable orator. He was a gifted writer. He has penned a book titled Hindu Philosophy and Action in Search of Universal Well-Being, tracing the journey of VHPA. Chief Minister offers his deepest condolences and prayers for the departed soul. May God give his family, friends, and well-wishers strength to bear this irreparable loss. He will continue to inspire us through his work.
USA in 1968 with one mission in mind: to ensure that the Hindus in North America prosper and sustain their dharma. So in 1970, he founded Vish Hindu Parishad of America with one goal in mind: to keep Hindus as Hindus in America. And that is the reason why he worked all his life to build this organization up, so the Hindus in America can sustain their traditions and values and pass them on to the coming generation. So programs like Bal Vihar, youth conferences, youth camps, youth council, they were all started with this goal in mind. So today's program is a tribute to the memory of Dr. Mahesh Mehta by the Support a Child Youth Council. And I believe there can not be a more befitting tribute to a great person like Dr. Mahesh Mehta than this program by the youth who were so loved and cherished by Dr. Mahesh Mehta all his life. Thank you so much. Back to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, Abhay Uncle. Now I would like to introduce Kaushik Patel Uncle, who is the president of the Vhpa chapter in Boston.
Namaste. I'm happy to say that this young generation is taking initiative to carry forward this torch what Mahesh Bhai has started, and this program is totally run by this youth council and for the youth, by the youth. So please support this Support a Child program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaushik Uncle. Now I would like to introduce a co-founder of the Support a Child Youth Council, Avani Kashalikar. Avani, over to you.
Namaste. SAC is a nonprofit organization that provides education, housing, and medical care to underprivileged children in India. This organization was established in 1985. Over the years, SAC has given the gift of education to thousands of struggling youth, paving pathways for a better future. By donating $250, you can sponsor a child for 1 year. This amounts to less than $1 a day. The Youth Council is made up of teens from across America, and our motto is by the youth, for the youth. I would now like to introduce Nandini Muralidharan, a member of the SAC Youth Council, as the MC for today's program.
My name is Nandini. I'm happy to welcome all of you to SAC Support a Child Youth Council's Fundraiser. Support a Child Youth Council has one important message of connecting the younger generation to causes that are in need. SAC creates opportunities to provide education and improve life standards of underprivileged children in India. SAC Youth Council was formed in 2019 by Preeti Ganesh, a junior in Holliston, and Avani Kashalikar, a sophomore in Hudson. Today's program will be featuring Harikatha, an ancient South Indian art form which brings important messages to the spotlight through telling stories interjected with music and other forms of literature. Today we will see 3 Harikatha performances. Before we begin, we'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'd start with a prayer song. Thank you. गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं मणिमण्डितचारुणितलेन पुनिजनन्दपल्लवपदेन गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं मणिमण्डितचारुणितलेन पुनिजनन्दपल्लवपदेन गणराजेन अनिमध्यस्थ सिद्धिप्रदेन अनिमध्यस्थ सिद्धिप्रदेन माणिक्या मकुटाविदारेण अनिमध्यस्थ सिद्धिप्रदेन माणिक्या मकुटाविदारेण मन्त्रिणी पूजित सुमुखेन मानित गुरुगुहवन्दितेन दिनकरकोटि प्रकाशेन दिनकरकोटि प्रकाशेन विनदाश्रितमन्धरेण दिनकरकोटि प्रकाशेन विनदाश्रितमन्धरेण मनुपूजितभाषाम्बुषेण कनकस्थितब्रह्मचर्येण गणराजेन रक्षितोऽहं मणिमण्डितचारुणितलेन मुनिजननुतपल्लवपदेन गणराजेन
Now, Sumedha Mahesh, who is a junior at Western Reserve Academy in Ohio, will be presenting a Harikatha about colorism. Colorism is a very relevant and important topic in today's world. It is very important for youngsters to understand colorism and understand the fact that it should not be occurring in today's society. Sumedha takes characters such as Draupadi, Krishna, and Rama to explain colorism. Sumedha is also a trained dancer and musician. She learns to play the violin from VVS Murari and has been learning Bharatanatyam from her mother Srimati Ranjani Mahesh. Sumedha also learns Harikatha from her mother and has been a student of Srimati Suchitra Balasubramaniam. Sumedha has won numerous prizes for her Harikatha and has been invited to perform Harikatha for Swatantra TV and also YADA. She is very passionate about Indian history and culture and loves to study its relevance and importance in today's world. Now, enjoy Sumedha's performance about colorism. Thank you.
सिद्धि विनायक मूर्ति की जय थिमिकिट्ट माचे मृदंगा ब्रह्मा ताड़करी गजानन तांडवन नृत्यकरी गजानन तांडवन नृत्यकरी गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परब्रह्म सद्गुरु गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय परब्रह्म सद्गुरु अपार करुणा सिंधुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्री चन्द्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महं सकृत् स्मरण मात्रेण भवरोग विनाशके चन्द्रशेखर पादाब्जे भासेतां हृदय में सदा। सतगुरु महाराज की जय। Namaskaram. My name is Sumedha Mahesh, and today I will be presenting a Harikatha on the topic of colorism. Colorism has become a very prevalent issue in today's society, specifically in India. In order to understand what colorism is, we need to first look at a simple definition of colorism. Colorism is many times confused for racism, yet colorism is different in the way that it is an act of discrimination based on one's skin tone and is usually discrimination that occurs against people with darker skin tones. And as I said earlier, this issue has become very prevalent in today's society, causing many divisions, specifically when evaluating an individual's beauty, success, etc. Yet when talking about colorism, the question of where this concept originated or started tends to come up a lot. And many people tend to think that the concept of colorism was inherent in ancient Indian society and has been in Indian society for as long as we can remember. Yet, if we take a look at the stories of 3 individuals who lived in ancient India, we will be able to see that this concept of colorism never even existed in ancient Indian society. And we'll eventually be able to see that, in fact, this notion of colorism only came to emergence later in Indian history. Sita Rama Bhajan, Sita Rama Bhajan, Santata Mana. Sita Rama Bhajan, Santata Mana. Sita Rama Bhajan. Zo Bhuvantraya Sukha Shubhadata, Zo Bhuvantraya Sukha Shubhadata, Suramuni Bhayahara Ravana Cheta, Suramuni Bhayahara Ravana Cheta. Sita Rama Bhaja Santata Mana. Sita Rama Bhaja. Saketa Maran Nagarani Vasi, Saketa Maran Nagarani Vasi, Smaradhara Sundara Chandra Vikashi, Smaradhara Sundara Chandra Vikashi. Sita Rama Bhaja Santata Mana. Sita Rama Bhaja. In the Hindu era called Treta Yuga lived a king by the name of Dasharatha, who ruled the kingdom of Ayodhya. Dasharatha was a very respectable, successful ruler who was loved by all of his subjects. Yet Dasharatha had a very personal worry, that he didn't have any children to inherit his kingdom after him. At this time, Dasharatha, after a lot of prayer, was fortunate enough to be given 4 sons, the eldest of them being Rama, who would be the heir of the throne. Rama at birth was given the name Rama due to how handsome he was, and his name was taken from the Sanskrit word Ramaniya, meaning pleasing, due to Rama's pleasing nature. This beauty of Rama has been described many times by many composers throughout Indian history. And one of them is the composer of the song I sang in the beginning, Sita Rama Bhajan. In that song, the composer says to always keep Rama in your mind and to always think about him. But the composer later goes on to describe Rama, specifically by saying, Sundara Chandra Vikashi. The composer says that Rama looks like the full moon. We've all seen this full moon sometime in our lives and know how beautiful, how majestic it looks in that dark of night. Imagine seeing a person with that majestic and bright beauty. That's how Rama looked at all times. And that allows us to imagine how beautiful he was. The composer Sita Rama Bhaja is not the only composer to have praised Rama's beauty. Later in history, a composer by the name of Swati Tirunal also described Rama. In this composition, Swati Tirunal describes Rama as Ghanashyama, meaning dark one or one with dark skin. In that composition, Swati Tirunal directly describes Rama's complexion but rather uses that as a means to describe his beauty. Rama was given many names such as Ghanashyama, but all of those names had positive connotations associated with them and were directly used to depict Rama's immense beauty, showing that Rama's skin color was what made him beautiful, and supporting the fact that skin color was never a criteria for determining beauty in ancient India. Another composer by the name of Tyagaraja also describes Rama. Tyagaraja was one of the most revered and respected composers in Carnatic music and was also one of Rama's most immense devotees. Tyagaraja sings, Soma Surya Lochana, Soma Surya Lochana, Sundara Vadana, Shri Sundara Vadana, Shri Ramani Gani Nannu. This composition, Tyagaraja describes Rama as Soma Surya Lochana, meaning he describes Rama as having bright eyes like the sun and the moon, attesting to Rama being full of life. He says that Rama is so bright, so full of life. His entire nature is of that sort. Tyagaraja later goes on to describe Rama as Sundaravadana, talking about how beautiful Rama's face was, how beautiful and bright Rama's features were. Another composer later by the name of Saint Tulsidas also describes Rama's beauty. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhavamaya Darunam, Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana Harana Bhavamaya Darunam, Navakanchalochana Kanja Mukhakara Kanja Pada Kanjarunam, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Kandarpa Aganita Amita Chabinavanila Niraj Sundaram, Kandarpa abhinavanila neeraj sundaram. This composition, Saint Tulsidas describes both Rama's beauty and complexion, making a direct association between the two. He says that Rama's complexion and beauty is like the dense blue clouds. The clouds are something that we all think are very beautiful, and therefore Saint Tulsidas directly describes Rama's complexion and makes association, saying that Rama's complexion is what makes him that beautiful. Again, attesting to the fact that skin color was never a criteria for determining beauty or success in ancient India. However, was Rama's beauty only celebrated by later day composers? In order to answer that question, all we have to do is look at the Ramayana, specifically the moment where Rama, his brother Lakshmana, and his guru or teacher Vishwamitra enter Mithilapuri. At this time, when Rama enters Mithilapuri, the people of Mithilapuri, as soon as seeing Rama, become stunned by his beauty. When describing this moment, many storytellers jokingly tell a story about a lady who's carrying water back to her house. As soon as seeing Rama, that lady, instead of walking into her own house, walks into a neighbor's house with that pot of water. Another lady, standing on her porch, catches sight of Rama. And as soon as seeing Rama, she becomes mesmerized by Rama's beauty and immediately runs to her friend and calls her friend, saying, "Come quickly, a beautiful young man is walking down the streets of Mithilapuri. Come to see him quickly." That friend is boiling a pot of milk. And as soon as hearing these calls from her friend, she immediately leaves that boiling pot of milk and runs outside to see Rama. That's how much Rama caught the attention of the Mithilapuri people. His beauty was that enamoring. Yet, that raises the question of what exactly did all these people see when they saw Rama? And to answer that question, a famous Indian Tamil poet by the name of Kamban says, "Tole kandar, tolaye kandar," meaning that anyone who saw Rama's shoulders only saw Rama's shoulders. Anyone who saw Rama's feet only saw his feet. Anyone who saw his face only saw his face. That's how stunning and beautiful every single feature and inch of Rama was. Not one person saw Rama from head to toe. After this, Rama, Lakshmana, and Vishwamitra continue to walk past Mithilapuri, and at this time, they pass the palace of Mithilapuri. In that palace is a princess of Mithilapuri by the name of Sita. When Rama is passing the palace, Sita catches just a glimpse of Rama. And in that moment, she falls in love with Rama's beauty. So much so that she sings, Karulavum Shirulavum Mithilayil Karulavum Shirulavum Mithilayil Karulavum Shirulavum Mithilayil Karulavum Shirulavum Mithilayil Kannimadam Tanil Munne Nindravaryaro Ivaryaro Yenna Pero Hariyene Yaro Ivaryaro Yenna Pero. That moment of seeing Rama, Sita falls in love with his beauty and starts to wonder, who who is this man? She wonders, who is this man? What's his name? Where is he from? This beautiful man walking down the streets of Mithilapuri. That's how enamoring Rama's beauty is, and that's how much he mesmerizes Sita. In that moment, in that second of glimpse, Sita becomes that enamored by Rama. She later goes on to specifically describe Rama's features and beauty. Chandra bimba mukha malarale yennai taane parkirar or kale அந்த நாளில் சொந்தம் போலே உருகிறார் 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 இந்த நாளில் வந்து சேவை தருகிறார் யாரோ இவர் யாரோ என்ன பேரோ அறியேனே யாரோ இவர் யாரோ என்ன பேரோ. Sita says, just as our first composer of Sita Rama Bhaja said, that Rama's face is as bright and beautiful as a full moon. She says specifically Chandra Bimba Mukha, telling us that Rama's face was just like the full moon. She even says that Rama's face is a reflection of the full moon. That bright, that majestic, that beautiful. Rama lived in the Hindu era of the Treta Yuga, so all of this occurred during that time period. Yet, if we look years later, during the Hindu era called Draupadi Yuga, we can see another example of beauty by the name of Krishna. When looking at Krishna, his name itself indicates his complexion and skin color. Krishna means dark one. So when Krishna was born, he was born with dark skin, just as Rama. And Krishna also had many other names. Shyama Krishna, Megha Shyama, many other names that all described his complexion, but also all had positive connotations, celebrating his beauty and complexion. In fact, Krishna's beauty was so much so that his entire avatar is celebrated for his beauty and is celebrated to this day for that immense, mesmerizing beauty. In fact, in the Krishna Leela, it is said that the gopis that lived in Krishna's town were so enamored by his beauty that they would forget the work they were doing in the moment when looking at Krishna. One gopi who would be boiling some milk would forget about the milk and run towards Krishna. Another gopi who would be putting her child to sleep would see Krishna and immediately forget about her child and run towards Krishna. And not only that, but the calves and the deer who would be grazing would forget about the grazing and run towards Krishna at the sight of him. That's how attractive Krishna was. In fact, even after Krishna left that town, all the gopis there continue to remember Krishna's beauty, continue to remember him, and meditate on him, praising him through songs. Pandava Taraka, Bhudhara Dharaka, Pahire, Hare Pahire, Prinita Bhusura, Kaustubha Bhasura, Pahire, Hare Pahire, Krishna हर मे दुरितं मारिटाक्ष चलत रुचे येहि शौरे मम शिरसि करं देहि ते सूरे तव पादकञ्च दर्शनाय लोलम् मम चित्तमद्य रारमीति नालम् चलंगे कट्टी ओडी ओडी वायो எங்கள் தாமரை கண்ணாடி ஆடி வாயோ உன் பிஞ்சு பாதம் தேடி தேடி நாங்கள் இங்கே திவ்ய நாமம் பாடி பாடி வந்தோம் சலங்கை கட்டி ஓடி ஓடி வாயோ எங்கள் தாமரை கண்ணாடி ஆடி வாயோ எங்கள் தாமரை கண்ணாடி ஆடி வாயோ. The gopis, after Krishna left, would remember Krishna's beauty, meditate on it, and sing songs like the one I just sang. However, even after Krishna grew up, his beauty didn't escape him. In fact, the princess Rukmini, after hearing about Krishna's famous beauty and valor, had made up her mind to marry him. This instance, Tyagaraja describes, Mani ni mani, mani ni mani, Shri Rukmini Manasap Haramara Janaka Divyaganamurte. Saint Tyagaraja says that Krishna's beauty was so attractive that it was able to steal the mind and heart of Rukmini, known as the gem among women. In order to steal the heart and mind of such a beautiful and sought-after woman, Krishna's beauty would have had to be very immense. And the fact that he was able to do so speaks to how attractive, immense, and mesmerizing his beauty was. By looking at Rama and Krishna's stories, we're able to see that beauty was not associated with skin color in ancient India, and that skin color was never a criteria to be met in order to be considered beautiful or successful. Yet, did this notion only hold good for men? In order to answer that question, all we have to do is look at the Princess Draupadi's story. Draupadi was the daughter of Draupadi Maharaj and was born a princess. Yet Draupadi, like Krishna and Rama, also had another name, Shyama. Shyama means dark one, and therefore when Draupadi was born, she was born with dark skin. Yet she was also one of the most sought after women in her time. So much so that when her father Draupadi Maharaj arranged her Swayamvaram, or when he was looking to arrange her marriage, kings from all over India came to show their interest in marrying her. That's how sought after and attractive and enamoring her beauty was. Again showing us that beauty was never determined by skin color. So we're able to see that despite gender, despite any identity, skin color wasn't associated with beauty. But that brings up the question of what exactly made Rama, Krishna, and Draupadi beautiful? What constituted their beauty? And to answer that question, all we have to do is look at each and every one of their stories. Starting with Rama. Rama lived a life full of integrity, respect, and dignity. In fact, he showed each and every one of us how to live our lives, the ordinary man, how to live a proper and respectable life. Rama, when he was sent to the forest by his father on the eve of his coronation for 14 years, without throwing one tantrum, he said okay and went to the forest. Most of us, if our parents say no to a certain item we've wanted for over 3 months, would throw a fit. But Rama was being sent to the forest, banished to the forest on the eve of his coronation. And yet, he didn't even backtalk once, all to respect his father's word. Not only that, but after he went to the forest, when his wife Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, Rama, without thinking that these are extenuating circumstances, let me call the Ayodhya royal army to help me rescue Sita, just used his resources and used the monkeys around him to go and successfully rescue Sita and defeat the demon Ravana. That was Rama's beauty. His ability to live such a respectable, such a life full of integrity and dignity. Krishna, on the other hand, devoted his entire life to doing good in the world. He was one of the most selfless individuals to live. Defeating one after the other demon, he committed his life to bringing peace amongst his village and amongst the people of his village. That was Krishna's beauty, his selflessness and his devotion to doing good in the world. And Draupadi had unmatched devotion. She was one of the strongest women to live in ancient India, but also was admired due to the devotion that she had that was unmatched by anyone else. In fact, in a moment when Draupadi's modesty was being threatened, Draupadi first tried to fight back, but soon learned that her own strength, her own willpower would not be enough to save her modesty, and at that point completely surrendered herself to Krishna, showing her unmatched devotion, leaving everything up to Krishna in that moment. And sure enough, Krishna did save her, saved her modesty. And from that moment on, Draupadi devoted her entire life to Krishna. Every moment she lived with devotion to him, so much so that she became considered as Krishna's sister due to her close devotion and relationship with Krishna. By looking at these examples, we're able to see that beauty was not associated with skin color, but rather in ancient India, what was given importance to was a person's character, the entirety of a person. Skin color was never a criteria for determining beauty. That notion of colorism didn't exist in India. It was rather just determining a person's beauty based on their character. But then when exactly did this notion of colorism start to emerge in Indian society? When did those deep roots start to form? To answer that question, all we have to do is look at Indian history. Around the time that the British came to India, this notion of colorism started to emerge. The British came to India with a goal of elongating their rule on the Indian people. In order to elongate their rule, the simple thing to do was to create a hierarchy where they were able to be at the top. In order to do so, they used what they had that no other Indian did, which was light skin. So what they did was they created a hierarchy where people with darker skin were at the bottom of the hierarchy and people with lighter skin were at the top, causing divisions amongst Indian society, but also placing the British at the top of the hierarchy, allowing them to elongate their rule. In addition, when the British colonized India, according to a quote taken from a British official, their goal was to annihilate Asiatic society by creating clones of Britain. In order to do that, they had to transpose what was known as British ideals of beauty, which was directly associated with light skin. And that's exactly what they did in India. They started to try to spread the same ideals of beauty and success that they had in their own country, causing the emergence of colorism, the discrimination of people based on color of their skin. In fact, this occurred at the same time as the Civil War in America, and this idea of lighter skin being beauty, power, success started to globalize and spread, slowly spreading to India at the same time through the British. In this time in society, as we face divisions that are dividing us to a point where we're unable to be unified and solve the problems that are affecting all of us as a world, it is very imperative that we go back to our ancient roots and value one another for our character, not skin deep beauty. We must go back to exactly how ancient India lived their lives, the way in which they were able to respect and celebrate Rama, Krishna, and Draupadi for their character, and not these notions, predisposed notions of beauty that have been rooted in our society. As these notions of dark skin and light skin only create further divisions and issues in our society. And therefore, we must each strive to bring out the true Rama, Krishna, and Draupadi within us, and bring out that inner character of beauty that was so respected in ancient Indian society. And a great first step to doing that is supporting the SAC Youth Council. The SAC Youth Council has brought out their true inner beauty and are giving us the opportunity to do the same thing. $200 would support one child in India, and it is a great first stepping stone for each of us to be like Krishna, do some good in our society, to bring out that true inner character beauty within each and every one of us. So therefore, I urge each and every one of you to contribute to an organization that is continuing to do good in our society and continuing to spread these ideals of exactly what Krishna dedicated his entire life to doing. And finally, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, the SAC Youth Council for giving me this opportunity to share this idea and this topic of colorism with you all. And finally, I would like to thank each and every one of you for listening to me today, listening to my Harikatha today. And again, I urge you all to support the SAC Youth Council and bring out the true Draupadi, Krishna, and Rama inside of you. Thank you. Janaki Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Ram Satguru Swaminah Jai.
The next performer is Karthik Subramaniam. Karthik has picked a very relevant topic about feminism and the all-prevalent mother. He is presenting a Harikatha on Matruka Panchakam. It is very important to understand the importance and the divinity of females. And it has been underestimated in today's society and back in the day. So in Karthik's discourse today, he explains the all-prevalent mother and feminism in a very beautiful way. Karthik is a 7th grader from New Jersey. He began learning Harikatha at 4 from his mother and guru, Srimati Kavita Narayanan. To hone his Harikatha skills, Karthik also learns Carnatic vocal, Sanskritam, and Veda. Karthik enjoys playing Western violin for his school string band. Thank you. Enjoy Karthik's performance on the all-prevalent mother, Matruka Panchakam.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Namaskaram. On this auspicious day of Devi Navaratri, today's pravachanam is about Sri Adi Shankaracharya's Matruka Panchakam. I am blessed to explain its meaning and benefits by taking examples from Vedas, Shastras, Puranas, and from Bhagavatam. I will be sharing anecdotes of some great mothers such as Aryambal, Uttara, Kaushalya, and Draupadi. காலடியில் கருணே பெரும் கடலே நின் காலடியில் தஞ்சமென்று காலம் கழிக்கலாமே காலபயம் நீக்கி காலபயம் நீக்கி அடியிலே வந்து என் காலடிகள் ஓயும் முன்னே நின் காலடியில் சேர்த்து பாயே ஹர ஹர சங்கர शिव शिव शंकर आदि शंकर कालड़ी शंकर हर हर शंकर शिव शिव शंकर आदि शंकर कालड़ी शंकर हर हर शंकर शिव शिव शंकर आदि शंकर कालड़ी शंकर हर हर शंकर शिव शिव शंकर आदि शंकर कालड़ी शंकर कालड़ी शंकर कामाक्षी शंकर. Sri Adi Shankara has written several granthams. The three main granthams of Acharya are called Prasthanatrayam. They are Bhashyam for Brahma Sutra, Dashopanishad, and Bhashyam for Bhagavad Gita. Apart from this, the other granthams are Bhashyams from Vishnu Sahasranamam, Viveka Chudamani, Prashnottara Ratnamalika. This grantham is written in the form of question and answer, Prashnam and Uttaram format. Kanakadara Stotram, Saundarya Lahari and Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam is also called Moda Mudgaram. Above all, one important shloka grantham written by Sri Adi Shankaracharya is called Matruka Panchakam. He dedicated this grantham to Tiruttayar Aryambal when she was about to die. Mata means mother. Panchakam means 5 shlokams. Mother has been praised as a god in several places in our Vedas and Shastras by many great sages. Mother is Dhatri, one who bears the child. She is Janani, one who gives birth to child. She is Amba, one who nourishes the limbs of the child. She is Virasu, one who makes her child a hero. She is Shushru, one who takes care of the child. Shankara in Matruka Panchakam is not dealing with either God in the form of mother nor mother is in the form of God. He cries and weeply deeds to the lady who is his mother and points out his integrity is pricking him for not being able to do the duty of a son. Matruka Panchakam is not only dedicated to Aryambal but for all mothers and motherhood. It may raise the question to you that Adi Shankara wrote Matruka Panchakam thinking of his mother Aryambal. How will it suit our mother? Well, he says, Sadashiva Samarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmatacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. Guru Parampara starts with Sadashivar. Who is Sadashivar? Sakshat Shri Parameshwaran. Then in between come sages such as Shankaracharya and Mahaperyava. Then this shlokam smartly concludes by saying Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. This means that we can offer such shlokas to all acharyas at present. Asmat means at present. Likewise, Matrukam Panchakam will suit for all mothers and motherhood. In this first slokam, he says, Astam धियां प्रसूति समये धुर्वार शूलव्यता नैरुच्यं तनुशोषणं मलमयी सय्या च सावचरी एकस्यापि न गर्भवारभरण क्लेशस्य यस्या क्षमः दातुं निष्कृतिम् उन्नतोऽपि तनयस्तस्यै जनन्यै नमः आस्तां तावधियां प्रसूति समये धुर्वार शूलव्यता नैरुच्यं तनुशोषणं मलमयी सय्या च सावचरी एकस्यापि न गर्भभारभरण क्लेशस्य यस्या क्षमः दातुं निष्कृतिम् उन्नतोऽपि तनयस्तस्यै जनन्यै नमः आस्तां तावधियां प्रसूति समये Amma, when you were suffering from labor, that excruciating pain was like Shulavyata. It is said that Nahivandya Vijanati Guruvi Prasavedana. Shulavyata, the pain from child labor, is like someone hurting you with a weapon called Shulam. Pain can be unpleasant, pain can be pleasure. Where can pain be unpleasant? Harsh words that came out of stepmother Suruchi's mouth was painful to little Dhruva, as if someone was poking his ears with a trident called Shulam. When Dhruva heard the words, "You do not have the right to sit on your father Uttarapadan's lap," such words were painful. Tyagarajar feels. Sapatni matayavu suruchiche karna shulamaina mata vinuda kaina kana ruchira kana kavasana ninnu kana kana ruchira. What Dhruva went through was an excruciating pain. But as Sri Adi Shankara says, the pain every mother goes through is pleasure. Melum solrar, Nairuchyam Tanusoshanam Malamayi. Malam means party. Mayi means mess. Amma, when I was a baby, I would dirty your bed with overnight potty. In those days, Bhagavan Srishti called diapers weren't there. So moms have to clean up the place and clean all the clothes after baby potty. Sri Adi Shankara thinks of all the sacrifices that his mother had done for him and cries by saying, "For all these in return, I can never compensate you, Amma." Shankara continues, Gurukulamupassritye Swapnakale tu drishtva Yati samujita vesham Prarudo mam tamuche. Amma, you had dreamt of me as a sannyasi. Sannyasi means yati. Swapnakale tu drishtva Yati samuchita vesham. I asked you to give me permission to become a sannyasi. Even though you did not like it, Mam tu muche, Just for the happiness of your son, you had agreed. He continues, Gurukulam sarvam prarudatte samaksham sabadi charanayoste matarastu pranamaha. Sapadi charanayoste matarastu pranamaha. 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 Adi Shankara says, you would wait outside for me to come home from school safe every day. Today, I have become a yeti and I could not see you anymore waiting for me. Matarastu pranamaha. He cries, what else can I do other than bowing at your feet for pranams? Shankara says, Nadatam mataste marana samaye toyamapi va swadava nodatta marana divase shradha vidina najapto mataste marana samaye taragamanu nadatta mataste marana samaye toyamapi va. Amma, I did not do anything to you, nadhattam, except for offering water at Marana Samaya, time of death. Shraddha Vidina. What is Shraddham? It is the Vedic way of saying thanksgiving. It is okay to celebrate Western culture of Thanksgiving or Halloween, but not at the cost of forgetting to follow our own traditions and Vedic values. We should do namaskaram to our parents and seek their blessings. As per Veda, adults who have lost their parents should do once a year shraddham for Pitru Karma. Now that is the real thanksgiving. Shri Adi Shankara continues, Swadava nodatta marana divase shraddha vidina. Swada. Where can you chant Swada Shabdam, Namaha Shabdam and Swaha Shabdam? Namaha Shabdam is from Veda. Na plus Mama equals Nama. In Rudram, Namaha Shabdam comes in both Purvam and Uttram part. Namakka Kubayani Shankine Stena Nam Pataye Namo Namo. Likewise, Swaha Shabdam is used in all Agni mantrams. Also, Swaha Shabdam is used for referring Agni's Patni and Indran. We hear Swaha during Homams. Likewise, Swada Shabdam is used for Pitru Mantrams while doing Shraddhams. Where else do we hear Swada? Swada Shabdam is used in Lakshmi Ashtotram. Om Swadaye Namaha. Also in Lalita Sahasranamam. Swaha Swada Madurmeda Angavarum. Shri Adi Shankara uses Swada Shabdam referring to his mother. Melum சொல்றார், I did not chant. Najapto mataste marana samaye tarakamanu. Tarakamanu. What is Tarak? It means that which enables us to cross from Leela Vibodhi to Nitya Vibodhi, which is Vaikuntham. Tareti Yati equals Tarayati. Tarayati is which helps us to cross. Such Nama is called Taraka Nama. Rama Nama is called Taraka Nama because it is believed that Lord Shiva chants Rama Nama at the ears of all those who have attained Shivaloka Prapti, Moksha. So Adi Shankara cries, Amma, I did not even chant Taraka Nama. Najapto mataste marana samaye tarakamanu. Amma, please pardon me for I have arrived here late to attend to your final visit. Ambeti tateti shiveti tasmin prasuti kale yadavo ujjai Krishne गोविन्द हरे मुकुन्द त्याहो जन्ये रचितो अयम् अंजलि अम्बेति तातेति शिवेति तस्मिन् प्रसूति काले यदवो उच्चै कृष्णेति गोविन्द हरे मुकुन्द त्याहो जन्ये रचितो अयम् अंजलि. Unlike the Western ideology, where they call God's name only when needed, our Sanatana Dharma and elders encourages us to chant Bhagavan Nama at any time. Kalo Nama Smaranam. I remember my party and Tata say, Krishna, Guruvayurpa, Rakchi. They say Bhagavan Nama while taking a bath, while getting up, while sitting down, while eating, while cooking. We have been encouraged to chant Bhagavan Nama at any time. Ambeti. Whenever we are in pain, we will scream for Amma, Appa, Krishna, Shambho. Tateti refers to Appa. In Sanskrit, Tata also means son. It is like the Hindi word kal, not the Tamil kal, which means stone. This is the Hindi kal. Kal mein aaya tha means I came yesterday. Kal mein aunga means I will come tomorrow. Likewise, the word Tata in Sanskrit can refer to father or son. Here in Matruka Panchakam, Acharya refers to son. Ambeti Tateti Shiveti Tasmin. Suppose you are riding a bike and you get hurt. What will you say? Well, I would scream for Amma. Why not you scream for Appa, buddy, dude? Because there are two people we seek help whenever we are in pain. First is our Amma, mother, and second is God. So Adi Shankarar says, Amma, I was not there for you to chant Bhagavan Nama such as Krishneti Govinda Hare Mukunda, but Janye Rachito Ayam Anjali. I arrived only at the time of your death. In the fifth shloka, Adi Shankarar Kadarrar, a very, very emotional shlokam. Mukta Manistvam Nayanam Mameti Rajeti Jiveti Chiram Sutatam. Mukta Marnistvam Nayanam Mameti Rajeti Jiveti Chiram Sutatvam. Ityuktavadya tava vachimata dadamyaham tandulameva sushkam. Ityuktavadya tava vachimata ददाम्यहम् तण्डुलमेव शुष्कम् Oh, Amma, you hugged me, kissed me, and I've been there all my life calling me Mutte, Maniye, Rajave, Yen Jeevane. Mutta Manistvam Nayanam Mameti Rajeti Jeeveti Shiram Sutatvam. For all these, I could not do a single thing, anything in return except for pouring dry rice into your mouth. Tandulameva sushkam. Adi Shankara cries and deeply weeps. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about Mother Uttara in its Prathama Shloka. Uttara got married to Abhimanyu. During the Mahabharata fight, Abhimanyu was killed in Chakravyuham. Chakravyuham looks like a maze. Just like the ball is stuck inside a maze, Abhimanyu was trapped inside the Chakravyuham and was killed. At that time, Uttara was pregnant. Ashwatthama wanted the infant inside Uttara's tummy to be killed. Having known of Ashwatthama's grudge, Uttara prays to Paramatma Shri Krishna to protect her baby. Krishna took Ankushta Matram. Ankushta means thumb. Krishna took an Ankushta Matram and he disguised himself into the size of a thumb and went inside Uttara's stomach. Now, the infant inside Uttara's tummy saw another baby and began to test Shri Krishna. Ikshit means to see. Pari means to test. Hence, Uttara's son was named Parikshit. Pari plus Ikshit. Parikshit is a blessed child to have Uttara as his mother. Why so? The word Uttara means pure. Devaki is not Uttara, Aryambal is not Uttara, Kaushalya is not Uttara, and Draupadi is not Uttara. Why? Because Aryambal and Draupadi gave birth to Bhagavatottama. Kaushalya and Devaki gave birth to Bhagavan himself. Whereas Uttara carried both Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Bhagavatottama Parikshit in her kuche, tummy. This makes Uttara even more pure and special. This could be because during Ramayanam, Bhagavan must have felt bad that he had listened to his father's word in Ramavataram. Maybe which is why in Krishnavataram he wanted to listen to Mother Devaki and Yashoda and must have decided to be born as a son to Devaki. Tamadbhutam Bhalakam. Shastras say Mata Putrasya Bhuyamsi Karmanya Varapate, which is why Vishwamitra woke up Rama calling Kaushalya Supraja Rama and not Dasaratha Supraja Rama. As per our Veda, when it comes between mother or father, undoubtedly importance is for mother only. Satyam, I am not saying this. This is in the Veda. Matu Devo Bhava. Apastambar acknowledges this statement. Who's Apastambar? Tappitavri Abhivayade solitomna namba vaila matindruvar. For example, Abhivadye Vaishwamitra Agamarshana Kaushika Treyarishaye Pravaranvita Kaushika Gotra Apastambar Sutra if you are in Yajurveda. Apastambar is the Sutradhari, the one who formulates the Veda procedures. He says, if father is characterless, as per Veda, we can send him out of the house. But hypothetical, what if mother is characterless? Apastambar says then also the son or daughter should protect the mother till her death. Such is the bliss of mother. Matarastu pranamaha, pranamaha. My humble pranams to all mother and motherhood, says Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Taitra Upanishad says Matru Devo Bhava. Mother is Devi, she is Bhumi Mata. Mother is also Gomata. இதே பரிசுத்தியா சொல்லி இந்த பிரவச்சனம் பண்ண சான்ஸ் கொடுத்த எல்லாருக்கும் என்னோட நமஸ்காரத்தை சொல்லிக்கிறேன். I wish all mothers a very happy Devi Navaratri. Suvakshoj kumbam sudha purna kumbam prasadavalam prapunyavalam. Suvakshoj kumbam sudha purna kumbam prasadavalam prapunyavalam. Sada sendu bimbam sada noshta bimbam vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Sada sendu bimbam sada noshta bimbam vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Katakshe dayardram kare jnanamurdram. Katakshe dayardram kare jnanamurdram kalabhirvinidram kalavai subhadram. Katakshe dayardram kare jnanamurdram kalabhirvinidram kalavai subhadram. Purasim vinidram purastungabhadram vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Purasrim vinidram purastungabhadram vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Lalaman kapalam asadgana lolam sabhakte kapalam yasashri kapolam. Lalaman kapalam asadgana lolam swabhakte kapalam yasashri kapolam. Kare tvakshamalam kanat pratnalolam vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Kare tvakshamalam kanat pratnalolam vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Susimantaveni drisha nirjitaini ramad kiravani namad vajrapani. Susimantaveni drisha nirjitaini ramad kiravani namad vajrapani. Sudhamantarasam muda chintya veni vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Sudhamantarasam muda chintya veni vaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Majasham madambam. Kurange turange mrugendre kagendre marale madhebe mahokshe dirudam. Kurange turange mrugendre kagendre marale madhebe mahokshe dirudam. Mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam bhaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam bhaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. Mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam bhaje sharadam bamajasham madambam. कुरंगे तुरंगे मृगेन्द्रे खगेन्द्रे मराले मदेवे महोक्षे दिरूढाम् कुरंगे तुरंगे मृगेन्द्रे खगेन्द्रे मराले मदेवे महोक्षे दिरूढाम् महत्यां नवम्यं सदा सामरूपां भजे शारदाम्बा मजाशं मदम्बाम् महत्यां नवम्यं सदा सामरूपां भजे शारदाम्बा मजाशं मदम्बाम् मजाशं मदम्बाम् मजाशं मदम्बाम् Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
We will now have a bhajan on Shakti Ma by Mahendra uncle.
शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे।
शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे दीन दुखी को हाथ बढ़ाने दीन दुखी को हाथ बढ़ाने डूबती नैया पार लगाने भक्ति का भंडार भराने भक्ति का भंडार भराने जुल्म पाप का नाश कराने शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे जय अम्बे माँ जय दुर्गा माँ जय अम्बे माँ जय दुर्गा माँ जय काली माँ जय सरस्वती माँ जय शेरवाली जय बिरदाली जय शेरवाली जय बिरदाली सारे जग में सुख भरने को शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे झूठे लोग को सच दिखाने झूठे लोग को सच दिखाने अबला स्त्री की लाज बचाने भूले हुओं को राह दिखाने भूले हुओं को राह दिखाने तेरे नाम की शान जगाने शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे शक्ति दे माँ शक्ति दे मुझे।
I would now like to introduce someone that has been a donor for many, many years. And over these years, he has helped a tremendous amount of children. Mahendra Patel is the founder of the Patel Consultants Corporation. He also helps at least 50 people a year battle acute diseases such as obesity, ranging to cancer, including COVID-19, without medicine and free of cost.
Good evening. It is a great honor to speak to you all. This is a worthwhile event for hundreds of thousands of children who became homeless through no fault of their own. They really need your help. I salute to you all, young boys and girls of Youth Council, especially because at such a young age, you see the value in raising money for these underprivileged children. You see value in giving them a basic education, at least through high school, because you know very well that once you have basic education under your belt, sky is the limit for your achievements. With education, you get knowledge, which is the most powerful weapon that can change your life. To potential donors, what I have to say to you is that I understand your concerns, because I went through the same dilemma as you may be going through now. And that is, how much of my donation is going to go to these children? And your concern is 100% legit, 100% valid, and you should be concerned. That was my concern all the time. But my personal experience with SAC, Support a Child organization, is that when they say 91% of my donation goes to children, I believe it. And you know why? Because I have been giving donations to them for many years now. And I get report cards every single year of all the children I support. And I keep a very careful record of that. So I say to you, the potential donors, you have been blessed that God has given you so much. I'm sure you will find, just as I did, there's so much self-satisfaction, happiness, a bliss in making someone's future much brighter. And with that, let's move on and watch a wonderful program that these youngsters have prepared for us. May God bless you all and wish you the very best. I thank you.
Here is a short clip about SAC and a view of the SAC-supported hostels in the state of Gujarat.
Since 1985, Support a Child, an initiative of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad of America, has been working to eradicate illiteracy and improve the living conditions of children from poor and disadvantaged families in India. Children receive education, food, housing, and learn values and good samskaras. It is run entirely by volunteer efforts with minimal overhead costs. Donors may support a child or several children by donating $250 per child, which provides for the education and living expenses of the child for 1 year. Donors receive a report card for each sponsored child every year and are encouraged to visit the SAC-supported hostels in India. Today, we take you to the western state of Gujarat, where SAC supports several hostels. While urban Gujarat is relatively better served with charitable initiatives, rural Gujarat with a large tribal and underprivileged population has significantly greater needs. Our journey started from Ahmedabad, and after a scenic drive of about 170 kilometers, we reached beautiful Santrampura in Mahisagar district. This district shares the border with Rajasthan. The area is home to the Bhil tribe, who traveled all over Gujarat and Rajasthan as migrant laborers. The children are left behind to navigate a difficult future. The local SAC hostels in this area support close to 800 children. The Ritimbara Ashram Shala provides housing to over 200 girls, and the resident school teaches them up to the 10th grade. The Ramakrishna Ashram Shala houses about 75 male students and 75 female students, with most coming from the Wadi community. The third hostel in the area, Vande Ma Bharati Ashram Shala, houses over 230 boys and 200 girls. This hostel caters to over 150 nearby villages, with students coming from over 100 kilometers away.
का माहौल जो होता है यहाँ का वो केवल अलग तरीके से होता है गुरुकुल की तरह से.
These hostels function like a community ashram where every resident having an assigned task. The students' schedule includes personal work, cleaning, yoga, sports, schoolwork, and prayers. The students also practice their rich tradition of music, dance, and art. They performed some beautiful pieces for us. Our next destination was Dang area of Gujarat, one of the most backward areas in the state, mostly inhabited by various tribes. Here, the Janaki Ashram houses approximately 66 girls in the resident hostel, and the school runs up to the 8th grade. Another Janaki Ashram in a more well-known Dediapara area houses 140 girls. Built on an 8-acre of land, this beautiful ashram has the hostel, school, a gaushala, temple, and agricultural land. We were extended a wonderful hospitality and were privileged to witness a great cultural program at this school. These hostels and schools in Gujarat are transforming lives and are run by the selfless work of volunteers who left behind a comfortable life and made the ashram their home. We are very proud to work with them and are counting on you to join us as well. For details about how you can know more about SAC, how to visit a hostel or donate, please visit us on the web. Support a child and help fulfill the dreams.
Our last performance is by Mohana Krishnan Narayanan. Mohana Krishnan has picked a topic, Tyagaraja Bhakti, within Tyagaraja Kritis about Rama. Mohana Krishnan is a 4th grader at Toro Elementary School, Concord. Right from a young age, he had a liking for bhajans and katha shravanam. He started Bhagavata Parayanam in Sanskrit at the age 4. He has been performing Harikatha like Bhakta Charitam, Tyagaraja Kritis and various stories from Ramayana and Bhagavatam in both Tamil and English. He also learns Carnatic music, keyboard, mridangam, which aids him in this spiritual path. Mohana Krishnan has selected kritis such as Shara Shara Samarai Ikashura Sharadi Madavidara Shara Shara Samarai. Enjoy Mohana Krishnan's performance on Rama Bhakti by Tyagaraja. Thank you.
Rama 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 Janaki Smarnam Jai Jai Rama Rama Sadgunatha Maharaj Ki Jai Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam Anyananashakam Devam Sadguru Muralidharam Murali Mandita Karakamalam Munjana Mohanam Vyatyastapadam Vanamala Prema Bhakta Mandana Nitya Kirtitam Premikavanatam Harshaye Ujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavitam Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakhanchalim Bashpava Paripurna Lochanam Magatim Namata Rakshasantakam Buddhirbalam Yashodairyam Nirbhayatram Arogata Ajatyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet Vami Bhumista Purasta Hanuman Paschat Sumitra Sutaha Shatrugno Bharatascha Parshvadalayor Vaya Vikoneshu Cha Sugrivaschya Vibhishanascha Yuvarat Tarasuto Jambavan Madhye Nivasa Komala Ruchim Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravisitam Ekaikasmin Aksharam Pumsa Mahapatakarashanam Swaketadamni Ikvararaja Grihe Vishale Simhasane Rajita Panduda Shatrayukte Ivamangashobita Videha Sutamanonyam Sri Ramachandramanisham Hridi Bhavayami Janaki Swarnam Jai Jai Rama Rama Gunada Maharaj Ki Jai. By the divine grace of Lord Sri Hari, we are here to listen to Bhagavad Katha. So, Bhagavan came down to Boloka to protect the good and destroy the evil. He did this in 10 avatarams. But which avataram is... he did this in Matsya avataram, Kurma avataram, Varaha avataram, and etc. So there are 10 ragams and 10 avataras in total. But which avatar is the best? If me and you say this avatar is the best or that avatar is the best, you can't protest on that. You have to ask big Brahma Rishis. Let's take Shri Shuka as an example. Shuka says there is no greater avataram than Rama avataram or equal avataram as Rama avataram. Let's take Adi Shankaracharya as an example. he says, Asita Samete Akodanda Bhushay Asomite Vandir Achanda Pratape Alankeshaka Alankesha Kale Asugriva Mitre Rama Bide Alam Devate Naha Avira Sanaste Achin Mudrika de Abaktan Janeya Jitatta Prakashe Amandara Mule Amandara Male Arama Bide Alam Devate Naha Sindhu Prakopehi Avanta Pratapehi Abandu Prayanehi Amanda Amanda Smita Dehi Adanda Pravasehi Akanda Prabodehi Arama Bide Alam Devate. He says, no one who anyone who is without Sita, any devata who's not with Sita, I don't like. I don't want. Any devata which is out without a bow and arrow, I don't want. Any devata who isn't any devata who doesn't have Sugriva as his friend, I don't want. Any devata who killed Ravana, I don't want. Any devata who controlled the Samudra, I don't want. He keeps going on until he keeps saying a lot of these, and finally says, any devata who is not named Rama, I don't want. So now here Nammarvar says, Karpa Rambirane Yellal Matrum Karparo. He says, you can't even learn from anybody except Rama. That's the greatness of these bhaktas. Once, so why did Rama come in Bhulokam? Once, Devas came to pray to Lord Vishnu to kill the 10-headed Ravana. Sarvamunivu Sarekuravu Garvamulevu Rakunabro Valachiti Nila Varna Sushila Kalamika Nela Swami Netala Shagara Shayana. Oh Lord, please help us who's sleeping on the Milky Ocean. Stara Sanayana Tyagara Chavarna Taraka Suguna. They ask for help. The Devas ask for help because the Ravana is creating a havoc in Bhuloka. Bhagavan says, Bhagavan promises to come to Bhuloka to kill Ravana. So Brahma, but he thinks, which kula should I be born in? Brahma keeps thinking, I was born from a lotus, Kamala, and I want some relation with the avatara of the Lord Vishnu. So I want some relation with Kamala and the lotus. Bhagavan suddenly thinks, Kamalapta Kula Kala Shabdi Chandra Kamalapta Kula Kala Shabdi Chandra Kavavayananu Karuna Samudra Kamalapta Kala Shabdi Chandra Kavavayananu Karuna Samudra Kamalapta Kula Kala Shabdi Chandra Kamala Kalatra Kausalya Suputra Kamala Kalatra Kausalya Suputra Kamaniya Gatra Kamaniya Gatra Kamari Mitra Kamala Prakula Kala Shabdi Chandra Sulu brochina della chala binini kara shudai Bhagavan says, I'll come in the Surya Vamsha. But in the Surya Vamsha, there are many dads. Which dad should he be born to? Pitaram Rochiyamasa Tada Dashratam Nripam. He says Dasharatha. So we found Divshadadipati Ranasaya Charana Chatura Dasharatha Charama Rina Vimochana Dasharatha. Okay, we found out that the dad is Dasharatha. So, but who's the mom? Dasharatha has 3 wives: Sumitra, Kaikeyi, and Kausalya. But which is the mother? Kamala Kalatra Kausalya Suputra Kausalya. Now here in Bhuloka, Dasharatha is doing a yajna, and in that yajna, he gets paisam and he divides it into his 3 wives, and after 12 months after that, in Chaitra month, in Navami Tithi, in Punarvasu Nakshatram and Karkata Lagna, on the Abhijit Muhurtam, Rama is Protyamane Jagannatham Sarvaloka Namaskritam Kaushalya Janayad Ramam Sarva Lakshana Samyutam Vishnu Artam Mahabhagam Putram Aikshwa Kunandhanam Lohitaksham Mahavaham Raktoshtam Dunduviswanam. Lord Rama is born. Everybody is enjoying, and after that, after the few days, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna are also born. And they keep Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna keep growing, and after they are 16 years old, Dasharatha thinks, they're getting older and older. I probably should get them married. Just then, Dasharatha hears a knock at the door. Who is it? He comes and he opens the door, and Vishwamitra, he barely comes to see palaces like this, and he was delighted to see Vishwamitra and washes his feet and greets a warm welcome, and asked Vishwamitra, what's your purpose you have come from? Well, Vishwamitra says, that touching his beard, he says, you see, I am doing a yajna, and that yajna, lots of rakshasas are coming and disturbing it. I think I will need some help. Oh, I will come. Dasharatha says, I will send my big army. No. Swaputram Rajashardulam Putra? But I have 4 Putra sons. Which son? Ramam Satyaparakramam. Rama? Please, no. Don't. I won't send away Rama. Please. As for anything else, he is a very small boy. Please, he says crying. Please, he's not strong enough yet. Dasharatha says, Kakapakshadaram Shuram Jeshtam Me Datumarhasi. Please give him. Vishwamitra says, he says, give him now, or I get very angry. Dasharatha says, okay, I'll give him, and he gives him. Shreya Chasme Pradasyami Bahurupam na samshaya. I'll do lots of shreyas to him. I'll do lots of good to him. Vishwamitra says, okay, I'll give him what Dasharatha says, and he gives Rama and Lakshmana, because Lakshmana won't leave his brother alone. And so Lakshmana comes too, and they leave to the forest. And in the way, Vishwamitra teaches Bala and Atibala, the two mantras, and he teaches lots of mantras, and lots of weapons, big weapons, and for each weapon, when Vishwamitra gives the weapon, every devata, there's devata for each weapon. So every devata comes and prostrates to Rama in that weapon. Ranadvara Durya Bhavya Divyastra Vrindavandita. After days of walking, Rama, Lakshmana and Vishwamitra reached Siddhashrama. At Siddhashrama, where the Vishwamitra does the yajna, Rama and Vishwamitra says, "Hey Rama, see right there. That's where the demons will appear from that forest. Be careful," he says. And then suddenly, Tataka just comes, where? And she comes fiercely and throws lots of rocks at them. Rama says, "Hey, Lakshmana, look, that's Tataka. And let me kill her." He takes an arrow and he thinks and hesitates. I don't know if I should kill her. He thinks, and then Vishwamitra says, "No, she don't think she's a female. Don't let her live. Just kill her. She has left us because we are thin. And we won't get any. We don't have any blood and stuff. So just kill her at first." So Rama takes the Ramabana, which is only one arrow. He uses it for everything. He uses to kill the full Moolabala, and even Ravana. He uses for every fight in the war. That's called the Shara. The arrow is called Shara. Shara. Tyagaraja sings a very beautiful song about the Ramabana. Shara Shara Samare Ikasura. Shara Shara Samare Ikasura. Shara Shara Samare Ikasura. Shara Shara Samare Ikasura. Shara Dimata Vitara. Shara Dimata Vitara. Shara Samare Kasura. Surari Pumula. Surari Pumula. Surari Pumula. Surari Pumula. Surari Pumula. Bala Manutula. Surari Pumula. Bala Manutula. Tirula Kanala Samamu Sri Rama. Mula Bala Manutula. Tirula Kanala Samamu Sri Rama. Shara Shara Samare Ikasura. Shara Dimata Vitara. Shara Shara Samare Kasura. After he takes the Ramabana, he fires rapidly at it. Solokkum Kadiyavega Sudsharam Kariya Chemmal Al Okkum Niratal Mel Vidalum Vaira Kundra Kal Okkum Nenchal Tangada Apuram Karandram Kallal Pullarak Nallor Sunna Porul Yen pour in the Yendre. So I'm talking, right? Rama, I'm talking, right? So each word I talk, it comes rapidly to you, right? It doesn't come after like 5 minutes or 5 seconds or something like that. Like that, Rama's arrow just went rapidly like that and just went in Tataka. And so now you know gems. Do you know what the hardest thing in the world is? Try to guess. If you said diamond, you're right, because diamond is very hard, and Tataka's heart is like a diamond, and Rama's arrow just destroyed the diamond, and it didn't just fall down to the ground, or it didn't just stay there like we see in movies and stuff. It went inside fastly and came back to Rama's pouch, arrow pouch, and then it came like you know, if you're a very lazy person, you don't want to hear anything your parents say or anything what your elders say, right? So like that, yeah, it just comes in one ear and then goes back in one ear, like the idiom. And so like that, it just comes in one heart and goes back the back of the heart. And Tataka is killed, and then they go to while they're walking, Subahu comes. Here Subahu and Maricha comes, and Rama kills Subahu, and Rama fires the Vayastram on Maricha, and Maricha runs and runs until the end of the world, and he just jumps into the sea. And then the yajna is successfully done, and everybody's happy. The sages are happy, and then they keep the Rama, Vishwamitra, and Lakshmana keep walking and walking and walking. They walk beside Shona river, and then they take rest in the town of Vishala, and then they wake up and get ready to go. While they're walking, they visit. They see this dusty and sandy place, like a big sandstorm has happened. They wonder. Rama wonders. Rama and Lakshmana wonder. What happened to this place? This place looks very sandy. Vishwamitra says, this place was once Gautama Ashram, and it is still. And Ahalya, which is Gautama's wife, Gautama actually cursed Ahalya to disappear, and some people say she turned into a rock, but anything is fine. And then, so when she disappeared, Rama thinks, he thinks, and suddenly, by magic, the dust from Rama's tomb comes and touches Ahalya, and she comes back to life. Rama and Lakshmana are amazed by this. Jadakirana Shakaladara Jatila, Natapati Makutata Natana Patu Vibuda Sarida Tibahula, Madugalana Lalita Padanalina Raju Pamradita, Nijavrichina Jahadupala, Tanuruchila Parama Munivara, Ivatinuta. Jadakirana Shakaladara Jatila Natapati. This describes Shiva. Makutatata Natana Patu Vibhuda Sarid Atibahula. This describes Ganga, which is on his head, which pours from Vishnu's legs and takes the sand out of Vishnu's legs and comes down on Shiva's head, goes for a while, like water park, and then comes down, ನಟನಪಟು ವಿಭುರ ಸರಿತ್ ಅತಿಬಹುಲ ಮಧುಗಲನ ಲಲಿತ ಪದ ನಳಿನ ರಜೋಪಮೃತಿತ ಜವೃಚಿನ ಜಹದುಪಲ ತನುರುಚಿರ ಪರಮ ಇವರ ಯುವತಿ ಅಂತ. Bhagwan Rama and Lakshmana pray down to Ahalya and they leave Gautama Ashram and they keep going. They reach Mithila, and at Mithila they Gambira Nadayod Vandan, Gambira Nadayod Vandan, Shraman Gambira Nadayod Shri Raman Gambira Nadayod Vandan, Mithilaika Gambira Nadayod Vandan, Mithilaika Gambira Nadayod Vandan, Tambilaku Vanudan Muni Kaushikanudan, Mithilaika Gambira Nadayod Vandan. Janaka comes, everybody's amazed, and Janaka comes at the doorstep and he sees Rama and he's amazed by his beautiness, and he's so beautiful. In Hahi Bilokat Ati Anuraga Barabasa Brahma Sukha Himana Tyaga, he gets his Brahmanyani things, and he's just out of his mind, and he's really amazed by his hairlock which is on his head, Rama's head. Kakapakshadaro Viro Shrotum Ichami Tatvataha. Janaka says, tell me about this boy. Where does he come from? Who is he? Vishwamitra says, this boy, I am actually amazed by this boy too, Rama. He's very beautiful. Alakalala dagagani, alakalala dagagani, alakalala dagagani, aranuni yetu pongenu, alakalala dagagani, aranuni yetu pongenu, alakalala dagagani, aranuni yetu pongenu, alakalala dagagani. After Janaka is amazed, Vishwamitra takes Rama to the outskirts of Mithila, and then here Mithila people are so amazed about Rama, and they're just talking to each other. Rama's the perfect match for Sita. I hope he breaks the bow. People keep talking. Janaka keeps this dumb rule about whoever breaks the bow is at Sita in hand, but I think Rama will get it. And then here Sita sees Rama. Sita, the 6-year-old, sees Rama, and she's amazed by Rama's beauty. Mai vanan arum kunchi kural pintara makaram iskisir kurai irupar ilankiada ye vanam ven silai tunayal inge irvarai vandar en munne nindrar kai vanam tamarai vai kamalam polum kanninayum arabindam adiyam akde. So Sita is amazed, and so here Lakshmana, he keeps talking. Lakshmana is just looking down at the floor, and Lakshmana keeps talking. I hope you break the bow, Anna. He's just walking with Vishwamitra, and Vishwamitra doesn't even look back. He's very confident that Rama and Lakshmana are very behind him. And Lakshmana keeps talking as if Rama is close to him. But Rama is here just amazed by how beautiful the Sita is. And then, so Rama catches up to Lakshmana, and then what happens is there's a big bow which is Shivadhanush. 5,000 men and the 5,000 men are carrying the Shivadhanush, and the cart is with like 8 wheels, and everyone tries. Every Raja tries, but every Raja fails. Vishwamitra calls Rama and says, his son, go try. And Rama just comes effortlessly. He picks up the bow, he just strings it down, and the bow breaks into half. Sita, Balu Vilu Nu Virichi, 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 Balasina Shri Raghu, Balu Vilu Nu Virichi, Balasina Shri Raghu Kula, Varabrovamu, Yagarajanuda, Balu Vilu Nu Virichi, Balasina Shri Raghu Kula, Varabrovamu, Yagarajanuda, Shada Shada Samadaika Sura, Sharadi Mata Vitara, Shara Shara Samadaika Sura. And then Sita here is called by Janaka, and Sita garlands Rama, and Dasharatha and his family came on Panguni Uttram, and they enjoyed the wedding of Sita and Rama. Here Urmila and Lakshmana married, and then Mandavi and Bharata both married, and Shrutakirti and Shatrughna married. Everyone was very happy that they both, all of them were married, and Yam Sita Mama Sruta Sadharma Sharitava Praticham Chainam Badram Te Panim Grinhi Shupanina. Janaka gives offers Rama his daughter Pani, and then Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame, Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame, Pavana Jastuti Patra, Pavana Charitra, Ravi Soma Varanetra, Ramaniya Gatra, Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame. After all of this, the Kalyanam's over, and everybody moved to Ayodhya, and suddenly Parashurama comes very angrily, and he says, "How dare you break my the bow?" And Rama pacifies Parashurama, and Parashurama is still angry and gives Vishnu's bow, and he stings the bow in half, and Parashurama is very his ego gets down, and he's very amazed. Thus, Kratu Arishkari Kantuka Bihutun Danti Danta Dantura Dashavadana Damana Kushalata Shishita Bujamukan particular Rudirachara Barita Pritutara Tataka Pitra Brigapati Sugati Vigatikar Parudishu Pariga. Thus, the Sita Kalyanam ends, and they both unite, and we should keep praying on to Sita and Rama to give us whatever we wish and prosperity. Bhagavata Priyaya Bhava Dukkha Haranaya Vamsha Poshakaya Muralidhara Bhakta Kamita Murtitaya Srimate Premika Varadaya Jaya Mangalam Nitya Shubha Mangalam Savitri Raja Gopala Balaya Sartindu Koti Samashidalaya Sakshat Parabrahma Purna Swarupaya Muralidharaya Mama Guruvaraya Jaya Mangalam Nitya Shubha Mangalam Janaki Kantasmaram Jai Jai Rama Rama Anjaneya Swami Ki Jai Sadgunatha Maharaj Ki Jai.
As you all know, everything that has a beginning must have an end. For the enjoyable and enriching time we have all spent together over the past couple hours, on behalf of the SAC Youth Council and a co-founder, I would like to thank Sumedha, Karthik, and Mohanakrishnan for putting on such a wonderful show. I'm sure all of you would agree that they are highly talented and really did justice to the beauty of Harikatha. A special thanks to Mahendra uncle for supporting SAC consistently through the years with his enormous donations and sharing his budget. Now, I would like to request our Youth Council members who have been such an integral part of organizing this successful fundraiser to introduce themselves.
Namaste. My name is Shivnath Shankar and I'm part of the SAC Youth Council this year. I'm 16 years old from Southborough, Massachusetts, and I'm a junior at Algonquin Regional High School. Please consider donating after watching tonight's performances, so you can empower the youth of India for the future. Namaste.
Namaste, everybody. My name is Mridula Mukundan, and I'm a freshman at Westboro High School. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. It truly means the world to me and the other members of the SAC Youth Group. If you haven't already, I strongly encourage you, please, go donate to the Support a Child Foundation. It's a great cause, and I urge you to help support an underprivileged kid's education and basic necessities. I hope you had a great time listening to our performers' amazing Harikathas, and hopefully you will have been able to impact another child's life across the globe by providing them with means to thrive. Thank you so much.
Namaste everyone, my name is Ananya Sharma and I am a member of the SAC Youth Council. I'm in 9th grade at Needham High School and I would like to thank you all for supporting this cause. Namaste.
Thank you to our audience for viewing the program and donating to Support a Child. Once again, we encourage you, if you haven't already, to donate and help secure access to education and housing to impoverished children in India. As the holiday season is approaching and the start of a new year, we ask that you participate in these charitable times to fund education and knowledge for underprivileged children in India. And last but not least, a very big thank you to Shivnath, Nandini, Ananya, Mridula, and everyone who has helped us pull off such an amazing fundraiser. Thank you once again for joining us, and we hope to see your continued support for Support a Child. Namaste.